All right, guys, welcome to the webinar. This webinar, live, I guess. We're going to be going over how to get your IT business ranking in the search results, the AI search results and the AI summaries. So if you're in a chat with ChatGPT, how to get it into the responses there. If you're now using the Google AI summaries, how to get your IT mentioned there, and any of the other LLMs and AIs that are out there. We're going to be covering that in this live webinar. Let me get my slides up here and we'll get stuck straight in. So the baseline for you guys and girls here is that there's something like 58% of Google clicks have vanished over the last 12 months. The reason for this is because when you do a Google search now, you're getting an AI answer box. You're no longer getting those 10 links. They're much further down the page. And the AI answer box, from a user perspective, it's usually the correct answer or it's good enough. So most users are using that AI answer box as the de facto standard now. So your website, whilst it's maybe still getting impressions from Google, it won't be getting the click-throughs to the actual site. So if you're in the search console, the hard facts are, and this is statistics that we've pulled up from in the SEO industry, 58%. So it's a huge chunk of traffic that's just disappeared and it's been gobbled up because of AI. On top of that, round about 3% of searches are now based in AI chat. So if you're using ChatGPT to answer questions for you, so that a user is no longer going, or a prospect is no longer going to Google for answers, 3% are now being answered within AI. So that's Copilot, Perplexity, Claude, ChatGPT, as I mentioned, it's been answered there. So again, that's just reducing the search volume that you've got. The first thing that I would do, or I would suggest that you do, when we're going to start going down this route of like, okay, how do we actually get our IT business into the search, is look at where you're coming up already. So my AI of choice is ChatGPT. So I have this chat here. Let me bring it up on the screen. And hopefully you guys and girls can see it. Where I basically just asked the question, I need IT support. So I'm being like a dumb user. Go into your AI and ask the same question. So it came back and asked me a few questions about what type of support are you needing? Is it business support? It's asked me like the size of the company, all that stuff. And it's come back with the sort of stats on my location, and it's come back with a list here. Strangely, the company at the very top is actually a company that I used to work for about 15 years ago, Dynamic Edge. They're no longer in existence. They were acquired a few years ago and by a much larger MSP. So these results aren't great, but the little tip that I've got for you is within the results, you will see that they usually reference where they're pulling the information from in the AI search. So you can see here the citations. This is what is known as a citation. And this is where the AI is referencing all of this information from. So in this very first result, we can see here that Dynamic Edge has been mentioned in Clutch. So that is a sort of web directory and where you can get your IT business listed. Strangely though, when I go onto it, I don't actually see them here in the top of the results. They're further down, so they're actually third. The first two listings here are paid featured listings. So they're being pulled from the organic list. So in regards to OpenAI, it looks as though it's ignoring the ads and it's pulling straight off the organic. So looking at the citations and making sure your business is listed in these same places that these top providers are getting listed, even if these providers don't exist. That's the first thing that you need to be doing here. The second thing that you need to be aware of is something called Reciprocal Rank Fusion, okay? There is a guy here, I've referenced his name here, I've referenced his name here, Mithian Yesiliart. I really apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. He reverse engineered part of ChatGPT and how it responds to the user's query. And what he found is, and the the test that he did was actually on coffee makers. What the AI is doing in the background, so he went into like the source code of the response and he saw that there was math involved in the source code. But what the AI does is it actually goes off and it searches on Bing, of all places. It searches for similar types of keywords. So it's not just looking for IT support. It's looking for outsourced IT services, business IT solutions, IT services for companies, all these variations. And it, based on, like there's some math in this, based on who has like the most mentions across all of these different variations, the higher they are within the search. So that is the Reciprocal Rank Fusion. I've left a note of the actual blog post there for you. But that's like a fact. So what's happening here is that your website needs to become an authoritative website, a topically authoritative website. And what that basically means is all of these different terms you need to be on page one for. Then you're going to be able to get into the AI search. So how do you actually do that? Like, how do you become a topical authority? So it just so happens that topical authority is something that's been in existence for like 10 years in the SEO industry. And I'm going to show you it here and exactly what it means. So you see this little pyramid that I've got here. Topical authority. I'm going to give you an example. Say, for example, you want to be found for Microsoft 365 support in your local area, okay? So you would have a services page that was optimized for Microsoft 365 support in that particular area that you're located in. To become a topical authority, you need a cluster of subtopics underneath that main topic. And this is where you have this pyramid that you can see here on the screen. And all of these clusters, they basically link back to that main M365 services page. And this cluster is basically blog posts. So one blog post would potentially be talking about the latest features in Microsoft Teams. You would have another blog post that's maybe talking about SharePoint Copilot agents. Another one that's talking about the newest version of Outlook and how everyone loves it and all of the cool features that it's got. And then you link all of those blog posts back to the main services page where it's talking about Office 365 or Microsoft 365. So I've drawn a little sort of graph to make this a little bit easier to comprehend. Let me bring it up on the screen here. So you've got, here's my topical authority. And this is like sort of like a general, this is like what every IT business website looks like. You've got the home page, and then underneath that, you've got the services page, the about page, the contact us page, and then the blog. In our example here, we've got M365. And what we're looking to do, as I mentioned, is we want to generate blog posts on M365. So we've got our three here that we mentioned here: MS Teams, SharePoint, Copilot agents, and Outlook tips. That's our three. What we would do once these are published is we would actually link them back to the M365 services page. So they would all link back to this page. And then that page goes back to our master services page and then to our home page. And this is the structure. You can kind of see the pyramid forming here. So you would have this structure to achieve topical authority across your whole website. So it's not just M365. If you are doing cybersecurity, if you're doing backup and business continuity, these sort of master topics, you need to define them on your website, and then you have to plan out basically a content schedule of how you're going to actually publish this content. So that's how you achieve topical authority. Easy when you know how. But there's more to it than that. There's some quick wins that you can do to get into the AI search. And I cover all of these in a course that I've just put together. Excuse me. The first one, we've already mentioned this, is measure. See where you're already turning up in AI. Are you ranking anywhere in the AI search responses? If you're not, that's fine. We've got a list here to get you in a better position, and you can do all of this within a weekend. The next thing is the measurement itself. So in Google Analytics, you can actually measure the traffic that's coming from ChatGPT and sources like that. Big webmaster tools, this is another thing that you need to be focused on. Excuse me. As I mentioned, ChatGPT is actually using Bing as its search engine. It's not using Google. So making sure that you have Bing webmaster tools up and running and that your website's correctly listed in there, and also Bing places for business. It's like Google My Business, but basically Bing's version of it. Make sure you've claimed your business on there, or if you haven't actually got a listing, make sure you actually have a listing on there. The third thing, mentioned this already, citations. I'll give you a good example of a citation. We've already went through Clutch. Another citation, this is, excuse me, a site that I run, MSP near me. These are basically websites like this. There's many of them where you can get a business listing for your business and a link back. You're getting mentions across the web. Large language models love this type of stuff and they pick up on it. And this is where you can get those citations. You can get access to MSP near me as part of my service. And then the fourth thing is including schema markup on the pages. Now, schema markup is kind of like it's JSON, I think that's the right terminology for it. But when it comes to JSON, the way that you want to do this, there's actually a schema markup generator for small businesses. This is it here, technical SEO. And then we're going to basically create a local business schema markup. And what this will do is it'll generate a JSON file that you can inject onto the page on your website, onto your contact page or your home page about your business. LLMs love JSON. So if you give them information like this, they will understand your website better. You could also, if you're publishing blog posts on a consistent basis, you can type the URL of the blog into AI and say, generate schema markup based on this URL, and it will generate the correct schema markup that you can then inject onto the page. It means the large language model understands much better what your page is about. The fifth thing is LLM. It's actually LLMs.txt. It's a text file that you should have installed and saved on your web server in the top directory, the same directory as the robots text file. And that file is basically a contract between your business and the large language models and AI, what they can and can't do with your website and with your content. You can explicitly say, yes, please list me in your responses. Please use my content, my business name in your responses. If you have that contract file, you can actually basically get a better chance of getting into the AI search responses. The sixth thing that I've got here is publish a human written comparison article. Now I'm going to show you an example of this. I did this in the industry that I am in. So like I am a MSP marketing content provider. So if I type MSP marketing content providers into here and I go down to my blog post, I generated a blog post. I didn't write all of it. I wrote some of it, but I generated a lot of it. But I basically wrote a blog post about my business and 4 of the other competitors in my space. Now you should be doing this on your IT business website where you're writing about your business and 4 of your other competitors, and you should be listing out explicitly the pros and the cons of each service. This includes yours. Put yours on number 1 though. Put yours first. And then a little tip for you at the end is put your conclusion in here, but recommend your company. Extremely biased, but to tell you the truth, the large language models pull these types of pieces of content up. And this is what is known as it's LLM injection. You're basically trying to get your business name mentioned in the AI, and you can do it sneakily like this. Once you've generated this or written this article, you can republish it across the web. So not just your website, publish it up onto Reddit, publish it onto Medium, publish it as a LinkedIn article. You get all of these mentions across the web, there's a much higher chance that the AI is going to recommend you. And then the last tip I've got here. Number 5, my voice is going, so I'm going to keep this short, is to avoid AI written content on your website. Basically, what's happening now is YouTube has cracked down on AI content. It's basically saying it doesn't want it, and you have to explicitly say that you have AI content. I can spot AI content, so when I land on a website, I can. All of your prospects, a lot of them can as well. So you really need to, I guess, have a hard think about the long-term effects of publishing AI content on your website, what the long-term impact of that will be. At the moment, it seems cool and it's like a really big time saver, but in the long run, it's going to have a negative impact, because as these AI systems get better and better, you're going to find that they're going to be able to spot AI content or synthetic data. That's the other way that they explain it, almost immediately. So you're going to get deranked. So it's extremely important that you have original content. Best advice I've got for that when it comes to using AI to come up with original content is doing recordings like this, doing a webinar. And I've got a whole book that I'm launching and just written on webinars for MSPs. But take the recording, put it into AI, and then ask the AI, keep as much of the original copy as possible, but turn it into a blog post. And what that will do is it takes your words and it turns it into a blog post, and it's not going to sound like it's AI at all. So that was my recommendation, my number 1 tip on generating content quickly that just doesn't sound like AI at all. So that's the quick wins here. If you're wanting to get ahead of this and take advantage of the opportunity here, because none of your competitors are probably doing this, even though they might be appearing in the search. MSP Goo, we have a new service launched just recently. We've got a community as part of MSP Goo, $97 a month. We will publish for you one piece of customized content to your blog every single week. And that is it's a service at the moment. We are going to turn it into a tool once we've got enough customers on board. But basically what that will do is it will allow you to achieve topical authority on your website. So over the course of 30, 60 days, you'll start to appear more in the AI search responses. You can access it from School. It's on School. Let me just show you what that looks like here. The URL is school.com/MSP. As I say, it's $97 a month. And I'm dying here with my throat. But we'll also give you access to the AIO Foundations course. So everything that I've covered here on how to actually rank in the search is covered on like the actual how to actually put these 7 steps into practice. And we also have some other tools as well as part of this. So go check it out. It's a free trial. Let me see if we've got any questions on the topic here. I've got anything in the chat. This is live. I'm not very good with YouTube Live, so let me just check here. All right, I don't see anything in the chat, but happy to take any questions. There are currently a few people that are watching live, so I'm happy to take any questions if anyone does have any. And if any of our members of MSP Goo or IT Rockstars are got questions, please put them in the chat. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. I'll let you check out MSP Goo. You can check out the course and the school group there. I'll see you in the AI search results, or I might see you in MSP Goo. Take it easy, guys and girls.